Hi, I'm Rob Hatch, and this is Simple Decisions. Today I want to talk about deciding before you have to, which I talked about in episode 3, but in a different context. I want to talk about deciding to rest, making the decision to take time away. There's one very specific way that this shows up for me, or initially showed up for me and for my family. The story goes like this. I wake up on a Saturday morning, I'm feeling a little lazy, so I might decide to roll over and sleep in, and then time goes by, I get that extra sleep, it feels really good, but there's this anxiety or guilt that follows because I've slept in too late and I didn't get anything done that day and I had things to do or whatnot. It's a Saturday though. I really didn't have anything super important, but any time that I would just sort of in the moment decide to sleep in, get a little extra rest, I would feel kind of guilty about it, that I was putting something off. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. However, if I decided Friday night that the next morning I'm just going to sleep in. I'm going to take it easy and I'll sleep in until 10 a.m. Just have a really relaxing morning and, get caught up. And maybe after that, I'm just going to have a leisurely breakfast and I decide to do that. And then, maybe around noon, I'll move into something else. If I make those decisions before the weekend comes, the guilt goes away. I feel really good about using that time exactly as I intended. The same is true during my weekdays. If I were to decide that I'm going to take a certain amount of breaks throughout the day, like I need some space, for example, between coaching calls, I always leave about 15 minutes of preparation time and 15 minutes of time after a coaching call to just sort of let everything settle from the call, make some notes, that sort of thing. So I always leave space on either side of that, and I've decided ahead of time that I'm going to do that. If, however, I don't make that decision and I start packing my schedule full, or even if I don't have anything that's sort of immediately afterwards, if I don't move into something else, if I don't start working on that other thing, I kind of feel guilty. So if I take that break and it's unplanned, then I feel guilty. If I take the break and I've planned on it, it's perfectly fine. I made the decision. I had the full scope of my day in mind. I knew what a successful day was going to look like. I knew what was on my plate. I made those decisions. I constructed my day in a very specific way. So the idea here is that you can decide to take time away. You can make the decision to give yourself some room, some space to think. And then when you use that time, you feel that much less guilty about not doing what we deem as other important work because the decision's been made. You looked at the whole context, you looked at what was on your plate, and you made the decision to sleep in on a Saturday. You made the decision to give yourself a little room between things, to think, to process, to let go of that residual attention that you might carry over from one thing to the next. So this is a different form of decide before you have to, all related to taking some time away, giving yourself a little break, give some room, let yourself sleep in, make the decision, and enjoy that time. I'm Rob Hatch, and this is Simple Decisions.